On New Year's Eve, the United Kingdom decided that they were going to delay the second dose of vaccine to prioritize more people getting the first dose. And this has been a somewhat controversial decision, but some people are advocating that we do the same in the United States as well. And this is the official correspondence from the Chief Medical Officer's office regarding the vaccination. So they're saying, let's prioritize, and this is their reasoning for it. So we have to maximize the number of people who receive the vaccine. Currently, the main barrier to this is vaccine availability. This is very true. There's just not enough vaccine right now, so we're having to do this slow rollout. If you just give everyone the first dose, you can essentially double the number of people that get the vaccine with the amount of vaccine we have right now. They feel like, based on the data that's available, that the first dose provides substantial protection within 2 to 3 weeks of vaccination for clinical disease, and that is absolutely true. I will link the video below where we went over the data from the phase 2 and phase 3 trials of Moderna and Pfizer that show that. With the first dose gives you essentially the same amount of protection as the second dose. Why do you even get the second dose? Well, if you look at that video, in the phase 2 trials, the titer of the antibody goes up significantly with the second dose. But in terms of stopping you from actually getting the symptomatic disease, it's essentially the same. So it's kind of like, if you get one dose, you win the game by 1 point. If you get 2 doses, you win the game by 100 points. So you're still winning the game, but you're winning the game by a lot. So there's a little buffer of protection. You get definitely a bigger response with the second dose. But the UK is saying you get efficacy. It effectively stops people from getting symptomatic disease with one dose. So why not do that? And so they agree. Second dose is very important, likely to be very important for duration of protection. Again, we don't know. There was not a single dose arm. Maybe the single dose protects you just as long. We don't know that. But probably it doesn't, and probably the second dose is important for that. And it does improve antibody titers for sure. And then they said that a model where we vaccinate twice the number of people in the next 2 to 3 months is better than one where we vaccinate half the number of people, but those people have slightly better protection. So that's why they're saying we should do it, and they're saying up to 12 weeks they think is a reasonable dose, so you can delay the second dose for 12 weeks. So Moderna, you're supposed to get the second dose 4 weeks after the first dose, and Pfizer, you're supposed to get it 3 weeks after the first dose. So that is their theory. So I think that they have a pretty reasonable reasoning for it. The short answer is this a good idea? Short answer is we don't know. We just don't have the data, and the studies were done with 3 weeks and 4 weeks, and we know that works. We don't know if 5 weeks works or 6 weeks works or 12 weeks works. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. There's some reason to believe that it might work, and I'll tell you what those reasons might be. So this is the recently published interim analysis of the phase 3 data for the AstraZeneca vaccine. And in this vaccine, they had several groups, some in the UK, some in Brazil, and some in South Africa. And their trial wasn't as tightly run, and they had widely different dosings of the second regimen. So if you look here, okay, here we go. This is the. So what they did is, with most participants in the UK receiving the booster dose more than 12 weeks after the first dose. So in the UK group, a lot of them were like 3 months before they got the second dose. And then when they found that there was no significant difference in efficacy when comparing those with a short window between doses and those with a longer window between doses. So in their study of the AstraZeneca vaccine, which admittedly is it's a different type of vaccine. It is a adenovirus vaccine rather than an mRNA vaccine. They showed no difference between a shorter interval and a longer interval between the first and second dose. So, and then we also know just generally from the vaccines that we give all the kids, their dosing regimen is usually 2 months between the doses, and then the booster shots can be years between doses. So the second shot is meant to improve immunity, and we just don't know when the optimal time for that is with this vaccine and with this disease. We know that 3 and 4 weeks works, and it's possible that 12 weeks is terrible and doesn't work, or it's also possible that 12 weeks is even better than 3 to 4 weeks. We just don't know. And I think that the plan that the UK has put out is not an unreasonable plan. They understand the risks that they're taking, but they feel like protecting twice the number of people in the short term is preferable to half the number of people. That's a little bit better for half the number of people. So I don't personally don't think that they're crazy to do this. It's a reasonable thing given the constraints we have now. Like if we had plenty of vaccine, I mean, why deviate from what we know works? There's no reason to deviate from that. But given that there is a vaccine shortage and we're limited by vaccine supply, if you want to do the most good with what you have, this delaying the second dose, I think, is a very reasonable plan, actually. If you have any questions or you disagree, please comment below. And thanks for watching.